Okay, we are witnessing the biggest Bitcoin correction since 2013. I mean, not even in 2017. In the entire 2017 bull market, did we see Bitcoin correct over 40%? And we are now experiencing dumps of up to 55% of Bitcoin. Over $1 trillion have been wiped off the crypto markets in what some people are saying is way worse than a crash. Some people are calling this a crypto reset. Today, we're going to be looking at all the factors, fundamentals and technicals that may be causing the prices to come down. And then we're going to make an educated call whether now is the right time to be buying back or whether we should take whatever's left and actually just run for the hills. Guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Wow, wow, wow. What a red day it is. What a red day it is on the markets. I've never, ever, ever experienced anything like this. I must say, though, this is the first time that I'm reminded of 2017. This is the first correction where people are really, really, really panicking. You've got the exchanges going down. I don't know if you saw that, but exchanges going down. You've got Coinbase that went down. You've got CoinGecko, which is not really updating prices. And every time that you try log on to the app, it says this app is down. You have got BINANCE. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This is what's happening on BINANCE right now. Let me find this for you guys. Here we go. So this is Binance taking action, temporarily suspending leverage tokens, temporarily suspending BTC up down. Guys, this is the most serious correction that we've had all the way since 2013. Having been around since 2014, having seen the 2017 up and the 17 down, I can tell you that I've never, ever, ever seen blood like this on the streets. However, it does feel exactly like a 2017 correction. It's the first time that we're seeing real panic on the market. It's the first time where all these brave faces are starting to be not so brave anymore. And I'm getting a lot of my friends, I don't know if we've got some of those charts, but Freddie, a lot of my friends have actually been WhatsApping me today and saying, you know, is this time? Are you cashing out? Yes, and I replied, yes, of course I'm cashing out. I'm cashing out of my house. I'm cashing out of my car. So you're not selling to US dollars? I'm not selling a thing, guys. In fact, if you have been watching my Twitter, I've been buying. Another tweet, another WhatsApp from my friend, Christ Almighty, are you watching this? I replied, yeah, stock markets are tanking. And another friend of mine says, exciting dump, humbling experience. Markets always remind us that we can't always be on the right side, although this smells like either a fund blow up or Tesla is dumping. Nothing new, I said. 2017 felt a lot worse. Another friend of mine, time to jump the ship. I said, no, don't do anything. And that's exactly what I'm telling you guys to do right now. Don't do anything. Let's look at the facts. Let's make sure we get all the facts. We understand why the markets are crashing, both from a fundamental point of view and from a technical point of view. And when we've got all the data, then we need to make a decision. Guys, we are in all out fear. We're in all out panic. I want to show you guys. This is the crypto fear index. It's now, this was yesterday. It's only going to be updated again tomorrow. I can guarantee you that this fear index has now gone absolutely off the charts. Question, do we now sell everything? Or do we start buying like crazy? Do we sell everything, walk away with everything that we've got? Or do we actually start buying? Were we part of the people that actually got liquidated? Guys, the biggest Bitcoin liquidations that we have ever seen happened today. Remember 2 weeks ago when we had the biggest liquidations out there? That was the May 14 candle that you see on your screen. Today was 3 times as big as that. 10,500 Bitcoin were liquidated. That is huge. 10,500 Bitcoin were liquidated. And today we've got George joining us on the show today. He's going to tell us, we know that George hates leverage. So this is huge. So today, again, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at all the technical reasons, all the fundamental reasons, and then we're going to decide whether or not it is the time to buy. Before we get into it, I know that you guys are panicking. I know that there are a lot of brave faces on Twitter. And a lot of those brave faces are people that we hear since 2017. And obviously for them, it is easy to be brave because they bought their Bitcoin at $1,000 and $2,000 and $3,000. I know that those guys are putting on brave faces because they were around in 2017. But the reality is that you weren't around in 2017 and you didn't pay $1,000 or $1,500 for your Bitcoin. So this hurts and you guys need to know exactly what to do. That is exactly why we're here. So stay tuned, because this is going to be our biggest show, and there's no time limit on the show. We will go on until we get all the information out. What I need you to do, I need you guys to smash the like button and smash the subscribe button. I'm not going to talk about the banter bags. I'm not going to talk about the fact that you can get free school. This is not what this is about. Subscribe to our channel, like this, share this, so that more people can get this content. I want to see those likes going up, guys. Let's get those likes up so we can get down to serious business. I've got a whole panel of amazing, huge guests for you. I've got George from Crypto's House. I've got Crypto Burb, who actually, Fred, play that Crypto so we can get down to serious business. I've got a whole, play that Crypto Burb thing where he actually predicted something like this.
Some of you may know this Wyckoff distribution chart, right? And let's actually just go very quickly, have a look. Wyckoff distribution, okay? Many people would probably bring this chart to the table, but how it looks is, let's just let it load, okay? You see that this local trend sort of like gets exhausted, okay? You see resistance, which is broken like it was with the case of Bitcoin, but then it pretty much like just isn't able to hold it, okay? And there might be a risk where right now we are entering some phase of this kind, you know, where we had this nice low, just pretty much like rebounded. We had the bounce. Right now we are testing, you know, 58,000s, you know, which is quite a high level, but it ever since it peaked around $62,000, it brought nothing but supply. It brought nothing but the sellers. And that is my sort of like main concern, you know.
All right, so let's get, guys, I see we've got 18,000 people watching. There's 7,200 likes. Guys, smash those likes up. Let's get more people onto the stream. Let's get more people watching the show. I am going to bring Crypto Burb back to our stream. Burb, that was 2 months ago, and you told us that this could have happened or could be happening, and it played out. I mean, I would almost say that it played out
exactly as I have been predicting.
I'd almost say it played out exactly as you'd predicted. I mean, is this what you predicted?
Yes and no. I mean, you know, we definitely were expecting some sort of like a sideways, but this what happened today is definitely a surprise to many people, myself as well. At this point, of course, you know, I'm actually sort of like chilled, of course, lost a bit on that, quite a lot. Everybody lost on that. Nobody really expected this big correction. And, you know, while being, you know, right or wrong in the past, and I was definitely fearful of the entire this process, this, you know, be it Wyckoff distribution, whatever you name it, this consolidation going on for the past 3 months. And it actually resulted, I think, well, in quite a negative manner. Lots of altcoins, everything pretty much like crash dumped. It reminds me so much of what happened exactly, almost practically like year and 2 months ago, which was in March 18th, as far as I can recall, for the COVID crash. So it just reminds me, it gives me exactly the same vibes. The panic on the market, a lot of FUD going on, a lot of instability, you know, but I still somehow want to believe, and I still somehow think this is not the very top, you know, just yet. At least I'm not convinced about that.
Well, let's get your charts up. Let's have a look at the charts. If you could share your screen. Guys, while you're sharing your screen, come on, let's smash those likes up. I'm going to remind you that you can win the banter bags. There's still a lot of money in those banter bags. You can also get into crypto school. Just smash those likes. Be part of the community. That's all we ask you guys to do. You know, Coin 360 is freezing. CoinGecko is freezing. The exchanges are freezing. I tried to put through a whole lot of trades, and the exchanges started to freeze, man. It's been a terrible day.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Again, I think it's not even any point in just reminding, you know, how many times I warned everybody about insane volatility coming, $30,000 candles coming. Like, all of that is still, you know, again, irrelevant, because what we have just seen, in my opinion, is definitely one of the biggest and largest corrections for Bitcoin. Usually tends to perform with 30 to 40% retracements, which are usually healthy. This one is a bit unhealthy. That is out of question, right? But the fact that, again, this reminds me so much of what happened in here. You know, the bull market didn't stop because it started in with December 2018 reversal, and ever since it actually just got like this big dump, right? But it never stopped Bitcoin in the bull market. So what I would expect is a kind of like a repetition. And again, it of course looks bearish. It of course looks super bad. Like market tanked to the levels like Litecoin declined 70%, Ethereum declined like 60-70%. Those are numbers which I had never seen before in my life for traders. But again, this definitely provided an amazing, at least that can bounce buying opportunity, so that you can just get the bargains, bargain hunters, for short-term swings, just getting their lifetime money probably right now on leverage. But I do think, again, until I see clean kind of like a rejection of the high somewhere over here, I still think we're going to recover towards like $50,000, perhaps $55,000. We have the mean reversion. Let's say we can actually display the BYBIT Pro, my system which I use, which warned me also about the dump a couple of days ago. Where'd you go? 1 second. It's going to be on the invites only. Okay, I just need to retune it very quick. Here is the default. Here is for the bands as well, perhaps. This is a logarithmic chart. Yeah, so if we focus, we can actually just hide it as well. Okay. All right, so the mean. There is a statistical phenomenon that the prices and time series data pretty much like oscillates around the average. Everything oscillates around the average. So our average is right now somewhere over $56,000, of course, right? And what we want to see in the next coming days and weeks is somehow wherever it recovers. I do think that this is the bottom, but it's irrelevant whether or not I'm right. I would expect some sharp recovery anytime soon within the following days, and to meet somehow this recovery towards the mean reversion. There is going to be definitely a lot of bargain hunters. You see insanely big buying coming and stepping in, at low $30,000. So the mean reversion, in my opinion, is just a matter of time, and then depending on what it actually reacts with, at the mean reversion, whether it breaks through and kind of like, or just dumps with another series of bullet dumps, that is what is going to define whether or not we kind of like prematurely switch to the bear market or not. But I still think we're not in the bear market, at least based on my favorite indicator, which is the NUPL, right? Net unrealized profit and loss. And if you think about it, this is a 2017 kind of like part of the bull market, and that's exactly what I think we are in right now. This is a cyclical indicator. There's a lot of fear, a lot of thought. It seems to be kind of like well engineered, although I usually just avoid calling anything manipulation. We are all responsible for our own trading mistakes and losses and wins. But I do believe that there's been definitely arranged and well engineered timing with regards to the China thought, with regards to Elon Musk's thought, like all of that kind of like played a big puzzle. But still, again, we had this before in the past, right? If you think about it, we had this here. We had these dumps, although they were not as aggressive, but there was also not as aggressive dump like the COVID crash ever before, in 2017 bull run. So I do believe that, long story short, wrapping up, we are somewhere over here that not everything is lost. I do think that there's going to be quite a sharp upside recovery anytime soon because of the bargain hunters. And I do believe we're not done yet, but it is yet to be verified.
Look, the market recovery is actually happening. Ethereum's up already 20%. BINANCE is already up 20% off the lows. Burb, I know you are pushed for time today, so thank you, my friend. I didn't want to.
I'm very honored.
You're very, very, very pushed for time, but thank you for coming. Thank you for making the time on a day like this. Much love for you, brother. And guys, follow Crypto Burb on Twitter. He has got one of the best Twitter accounts, I think, in the world today. Thank you, my brother.
Much loves, guys. Much loves. Bye. Cheers.
All right, so guys, that's Burb, and I wanted to bring him on first. But let's go back to the main story. The main story is that there are a whole lot of brave faces on Twitter today. And most of them are the OGs, the guys that have been around since 2017. They bought their Bitcoin at $1,000. They bought their Bitcoin at $2,000 or $5,000. And now they're putting on these cocky tweets, this brave face. Like, oh, look at me, look at me. And The truth is that most of you aren't in that boat because most of you actually bought your Bitcoin at 30,000, at 40,000, and 50,000. And you guys are now panicking, and you should be panicking. I think that the worst is over. Today, we're going to look at the fundamentals and we're going to look at the technicals, and we're going to make sure that we work out whether this dip is actually justified. And let's start off immediately with the fundamentals. Okay, so the fundamentals here are as follows. The biggest reason or the catalyst for this dump was this news over here that broke with Reuters. And what it says is, it says that China bans financial payments institutions from cryptocurrency. That actually broke about 24 hours ago. So it didn't break when the market started to collapse. It should be no surprise because China has banned Bitcoin many times before. Let's have a look at this. China banned Bitcoin in 2013, 2014, 2018. Beijing bans Bitcoin. But when did it all go wrong for cryptocurrencies in China? Let's take a look at another one. China tightens cryptocurrency ban, 18th of September 2017. Another FUD article. Cryptocurrencies exchanges banned, officially dead in China. This was in 2017. China has been banning crypto. Here's why Bitcoin dropped over the weekend, 2017. China has been banning Bitcoin all the way since 2017. And this should be no news. What they came out with yesterday was nothing new. Nothing new. It's just a reiteration of their previous policies. And why are they doing this? They're doing this because they are about to launch, or they have launched, the digital yuan, and they want to push the digital yuan, and they want to make sure that people don't speculate and do not trade. If you read the China article, let me read you something from this China article, which is extremely interesting. It says, recently, cryptocurrency prices have skyrocketed and plummeted, and speculative trading of cryptocurrency has rebounded, seriously infringing on the safety of the people's property and disrupting normal economic and financial order. This is why they are banning crypto, because they are worried that too many people are speculating on crypto, or at least that's what they say. We know that's garbage. We know that they are launching their own yuan and they don't want to be disturbed by all these other speculative assets. They don't want people trading speculative assets. They also said, additionally, institutions were prohibited from providing cryptocurrency savings, trust, or pledging services issuing financial products related to cryptocurrencies. Crypto-related information services, insurance, and derivative trading are also banned. Firms are also urged to step up monitoring of money flows in cryptocurrencies. So here is where China is actually threatening the banks. Guys, there's nothing new about this. No new FUD. So what else is causing the FUD? Elon Musk's tweets and the Twitter spat. And I don't want to talk about the Twitter spat. We've spoken about it in depth. We've spoken about it ad nauseum. What we did manage to do was we managed to get a billionaire, a very influential billionaire, to cast a spell of doubt over Bitcoin. And potentially, Tesla will be selling their Bitcoin. I don't believe they sold, but potentially they could have sold. The third factor causing this crash, NASDAQ, the US stock market, the US tech market, weak as hell. Let me see if I can actually get us the NASDAQ chart. I don't have the NASDAQ chart here, but the NASDAQ US tech stocks are taking a hit, and people are looking at Bitcoin like technology. I kept saying to you guys, if the US stock market crashes, then we better watch out because cryptocurrencies are going to collapse with it. Today is not the best day for the stock market, but not enough to justify a negative 30, negative 40% correction on Bitcoin. Then another article, the OCC, the Office of Currency Controllers in the United States. No one is talking about this, but this is possibly the biggest story of the day. The Office of Currency Controllers in the United States. That was headed by a guy called Brian Brooks. I don't know if you remember Brian Brooks, but Brian Brooks was the person who allowed banks to settle transactions using stablecoins when he was the acting chairman of the Office for Currency Controls in the United States. This was an article that we called up in January, and it says US regulators' approval of stablecoin payments provides regulatory building block for compliance challenge. That was Brian Brooks passing this in January this year. Now, what has happened? Brian Brooks left and he became the CEO of BINANCE. And the new person inside the Office of the Currency Controller is a gentleman who is not. His name is Michael Su. And he said, we created an Office of Innovation, updated the framework chartering national banks and trust companies, and interpreted crypto custody services as part of the business banking. I've asked my staff to review all these actions. What he's basically saying is that whatever Brian Brooks did, he wants everybody to review. He's saying it was too loose. He's saying, he requested a review of all the federal bank regulators' pending matters, interpretive letters, and guidance, including issued around digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Much of the OCC's crypto guidance was issued under the administration of former acting comptroller Brian Brooks, and markets seemed like a watershed moment for the cryptocurrency. And what he's basically saying, at the OCC, the focus has been encouraging responsible innovation. For instance, we created an Office of Innovation, updated the framework for chartering national banks and trust companies, and interpreted crypto custody services as part of the business of banking. I have asked the staff to review all these actions. So another bit of FUD, some more backtrack. So that is what's causing the FUD. And then to sprinkle some more FUD on it, BlockFi, disaster. Just when we were starting to gain credibility, BlockFi starts making these terrible mistakes and rewarding people instead of in US dollars, giving them the equivalent in Bitcoin. So this is a mistake that they made. They rewarded their customers. So BlockFi goofed up and started paying promo rewards to applicants with crypto instead of USD stablecoins, but at the same number. Anyway, they're sending out threatening mails back to their customers at the moment to give back the crypto or get sued. Now, last I checked, once you put a transaction on the blockchain, it's irreversible and immutable. And if you make a mistake, that's your problem. Apparently, that doesn't really hold true when you talk about BlockFi. And this is the dangers of centralization. This is falsely accused by BlockFi of crime and a fraudulent withdrawal. BlockFi messed up. They made those BTC and GUSD deposits to people's accounts when they should have not. They reversed the BTC deposit and not the GUSD in mine as yet. I didn't touch them. 2 days after their blunder, I made a withdrawal of USDC, which I deposited a month earlier, completely unrelated to their claim. Now they send me a mail accusing me of withdrawing funds that aren't mine, saying it's a fraud and crime, and they will act if they're not returned in the next 2 hours. Fuck you, it's my money. They can't even look through the records to verify what they're talking about. This is what is going on today in crypto. To help me make sense of all of this, and really to put the yin and the yang together, I'm bringing in George from Cryptos Are Us. Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George.
I'm back. How are you doing, Rand?
I'm great, George. How are you doing?
I'm taking it all in. I'm enjoying your show today.
Wow.
a lot of good info.
You should be enjoying my show every day, George. I mean, this is where you can learn, my friend. This is where you can learn and you can be part of the banter bags and everything else. Guys, welcome, George. Give George some love. Smash those like buttons. Subscribe to his channel. Fred has put his channel description in the link. We love getting George on the show. George, what are you making of this? I mean, is this much worse than you ever expected?
Yeah, I'll say this is worse than I expected. This is almost, I would say this is equivalent. I know you said at the beginning at the show that you've never seen this before. I would say this is equivalent of when China first banned Bitcoin. I think it was the same kind of panic, although the dollar amounts were much smaller. But we had a sudden like 40-50% crash overnight. So it reminds me of that a lot. But right now, I think retail investors that got in the last few months had it very good. Some of the things that we've seen over the past bull cycles and crypto winters, they didn't experience. A lot of volatility, a lot of up and downs. But for the last 3, 4, 5 months, retail investors came in and saw nothing but up, right? And it was good. It was really good until this culmination of everything that you just mentioned, all the FUD, the Elon, I call him Elon now, Elon and China FUD and everything else added together. They haven't seen it before. And it caused so much panic. And then diamond hands, or people thought that they had diamond hands, became paper hands. And it's just a bad thing overall. And a lot of people just panic sold. So
this is the way I said it. It doesn't matter which one of the 5 things that caused the crash. So, I mean, let's reiterate. Let's quickly go through the 5 things, what they were. You got the China FUD, which is, I mean, it's garbage. But we know this because theoretically, crypto has been banned in China since 2017. The fact that they do most of the trading volume in the world, we're not going to talk about that. Elon's tweets, pretty much uninformed, although I think it did hit the ecosystem quite hard. The stock market collapsing. So the stock market isn't collapsing, but it certainly is weakening, and it's not helping us. The OCC backtracking. So again, saying, look, we know it was going to be favorable, but it's not that favorable. And then this little BlockFi mistake, which has just painted us with a very bad brush. It doesn't matter which one of these or whether a combination of these actually did anything. You know what it is? This market was too easy. People were making 10x's, 50x's, 100x's. People who were investing in pre-market sales were doing 100x's and 1000x's. People came to crypto because it was too easy. And it's not supposed to be that easy. You're supposed to work for your money. And I think Arush, I don't know if you know Karush, he's a friend of our channel, but Karush actually said it quite well earlier on today. I'm going to try and find his tweet first. But he says, this is a reset to a time where we actually have to work for our money and where it's not just easy. You know, it's a reset from easy. I'm just going to try and find that tweet for us. He's tweeted a lot today. Okay, he said, easy mode is over. Let me show you the tweet. He said, easy mode is over. Market structure isn't parabolic anymore. We're actually going to have to work for our gains now. I think this is good. I think this is a reset. This is a reset to reality.
Yeah, I mean, the work, okay? I know it's something that basically I've been preaching all along. The work is basically to continue to focus on good projects, not so much a lot of people coming in, of course, like you said, wanted the 100x, 1000x, whatever they tend to focus on leverage trading or all the ultra micro small caps, right? But you know, the work is really just focusing on the projects that does have good fundamentals, that have good leadership, that has good future, and basically buying the dips, having the cash on hand to be able to buy the dips and hold it. That's really it. Now you can layer in, since you have Sheldon with you, that you can layer in TA and kind of give some guidance on there. But ultimately, that is the homework, and also having the right portfolio breakup, right? That's why I've always stressed 50, 25, 25 rule. Today, that really pays because having 50% Bitcoin, even though it went down a lot less than the altcoins, right? Especially the micro caps and mid caps and even the big caps today. So, I mean, the homework is the same. It's just people ignore it when things are good. When things are skyrocketing, who cares, right? Just go all in and do 100x leverage or go all in on SafeMoon or Shiba. You're going to make your millions until it all comes crashing down, right? So, yeah. I
mean, George, I know this chart makes you happily unhappy, if there's a term like that. So again, we keep telling people you're over leveraged. Get out of leverage. Do not take leverage. Look at this leverage. The last time we spoke was the other small red candle over here. I don't know if you can see it, but the last time we spoke was that candle, and that was a bad candle. This one is like 2.5 times the size.
Yeah,
it's a good lesson for people to come into crypto who are coming into crypto and think this is a one-way street up and that you can leverage and mortgage houses to get into crypto. Now, I'm very sad that these people lost money, but we can't afford that in the market because they destroy the market for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, leverage has something, ever since it was introduced, years ago, I've always said that it brought more harm than good. And traders will argue that, no, you just don't know what you're talking about. But the leverage, man, is just not only do you wreck yourself, you wreck everyone else with it. That what you just showed right there, that was a devastating, cascading, sell, right? And on top of that, with the FUD, with retail being scared, that's how you have a day like today. It builds up and you have a devastating fall, right? But with crypto, like everything else, is a life experience. If you live through it, learn from it. You get knocked down, you get up from it, right? That's why you and me and others that's been in the game, we're still in it. We have lived through it. We have seen these kind of drops, maybe not as substantial within a certain time, but we have seen many, many drops and we lived through it. We picked ourselves back up and we're better for it, right? That's what these new retail people need to realize too.
You know, we kept saying, and I know you kept saying this as well, have a very small part of your portfolio in these small speculative altcoins, but the rest of it hold in quality. Now, if you're holding 50, 25, 25, or whatever, our one is 50% in the HODL portfolio and 30% or 35% in the 10x gems and the rest in the speculative stuff, then this actually doesn't feel so bad. And the reason why it doesn't feel so bad is you kind of know this is the low for Bitcoin. In fact, this is the low. That 30,000 price point happened exactly when these liquidations went up. And I know this is true because your dog is telling me that it's true. Your dog is saying, Run is speaking truth. Your dog is saying, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So I think if you were holding the good stuff, you're very relaxed. And I must say, I'm relaxed. I have been buying. I've been posting some of my buys on Twitter for full transparency for the community. I'm going to carry on buying after the show if the prices are still low. Unfortunately, I did miss the lows because I'm trying to get ready for the show. I couldn't get into the lows, and I was trying. I did post that on Twitter. My feeling is as follows, and I wonder if you're going to say the same. Don't sell now. It's too late. If you sell now, you are the weak hands. You've held this long. There's no fundamental reason for Bitcoin to go much lower than this. Next, DeFi is not going away. NFTs are not going away. Exchanges are not going away. Links, chain links, oracles are not going away. They're all going to be required. Chill. If you are invested in those things, you're okay. Just don't sell. Don't be tempted to sell. To all the guys that phoned me today and said, this is scary. Should I sell? Should I abandon ship? And I mean, I posted 5 of these here today. Are you cashing out? Yes, I said of my house and my car. And that's really how I feel about things today. Guys, we've seen this before. I'm willing to guarantee you that next week, this time, we're way higher than this. I'm not saying we're back to where we were. It's going to take us a long time to get back to where we were, if we get back to where we were on some of these tokens. But this is a reality check, and it's a lesson that people must learn. In the good times, don't be tempted to buy the garbage small tokens. Stick to the fundamentals. George, what do you think?
I completely agree. Last night I did a stream, and I said, you know what? I don't feel like this is the top. I don't feel like the run is over, because if you look at the fundamentals, did anything change within the last week, right? No, nothing. We just had a lot of FUD out there, and that was it. But nothing fundamentally have changed. I mean, even the narrative, Bitcoin being a hedge against inflation. We know inflation is still happening. American CPI numbers are horrible right now, right? So inflation is still there. It's still going to get worse. And all the institutions that bought in, Mass Mutual and others, they still hold it in their reserves, right? Michael Saylor is still here buying Bitcoin, regardless of what price. So fundamentally, nothing has changed. But I think one has to wonder, because a lot of people have talked about the Wyckoff pattern, like Crypto Burb just brought up, right? So there's 2 interesting things. Number one is, if the whales that were truly, behind the scenes setting things up for this major dump, you got to wonder if like Reuters, are they part of it? I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but you got to think it all came at the same time, right? Are they part of it? Someone needs to ask these kind of questions, because when a big outlet reports something that has already been reported 4 years ago, and they're just restating it, but they're coming out with it at the time when there's mass panic, one wonders. So that's number one. Number two is, the Wyckoff pattern, because a lot of people brought it up early. And even though there's very, very, very similar, it was off by a few weeks, but it makes one wonder if that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because if everyone is anticipating a drop, then no one is buying, right? So that's also the thing you have to realize, is that sometimes you have people that are so convinced of something. And I guess it's both ways, because I'm convinced it's going to go up, and I think you are too. But sometimes when you convince enough people that a pattern will follow, then it follows, because then they won't make any moves because of it. So there's also that too.
Yeah, I think, George, just some breaking news right now. Elon has just tweeted, Tesla has diamond hands, probably to reassure the market that Tesla is not selling through this. So I think we're getting, I think Elon doesn't want the value of Bitcoin to go down. I think he's also realized that a lot of people have lost money because of his irresponsible tweets. And I think that this is the first step in Elon Musk actually turning the markets. And I mean, to be honest, if Tesla has diamond hands, then I need to be buying Bitcoin. I mean, that's just the way that it is.
You know, Elon has some real, not only damage control, but he had to do what he did, because he responded to that one guy, and I'm told he's a scammer, that, you know, the guy was tweeting out, you know, just wait until Q2 and Tesla announces that Tesla dumped their Bitcoin. And Elon responded to that saying, indeed, that could be seen as confirmation that they have or they will dump before Q2 ends. And that's clearly a violation. You know, SEC is looking at him at that, right? So then he had to backtrack and say, no, I didn't sell any Bitcoin. And now he's trying to backtrack some more, saying we have diamond hands, right? I mean, I don't know. Elon just went on, you know, I don't know what happened there. Maybe he was under the influence or something, or something, but he just went way off the deep end. I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about him anymore.
You know, I think the time that he went off was when he actually represented Tesla, and he said indeed, and that was like, you know, indeed means that he's talking on behalf of Tesla, and that's I think where he went off the ledge a bit. I want to bring in a trader, one of our favorite traders, George. I know you love trading, and I know you love the technicals, and I'm going to bring in two traders, but I want to talk specifically to Ched. Ched, my friend, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing great. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed the conversation this morning. I think it's easy to panic and kind of wonder what's going on. You have to kind of step back and see how we got here. You know, and I'd like to hear some more comments from you folks, but it's not just the price, it's how you got there. And, you know, we had Ethereum at 1850 just a minute ago, and that was a violent drop. So when you see these violent drops, we see this volatility, you know, that's when we start to look for opportunity. There's so much to discuss, the new traders in the market, Elon Musk and all that. So it's a great show, folks. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And, you know, thank you for watching.
I'm putting in a buy order right now for 2 Bitcoin, 36.
Can you get me one too? I could use another one.
Catch the buy. I can't catch the buy. Bang, 2 Bitcoin. Trade is done, friends. Trade is done. Again, I want to be transparent to the community. When I'm buying, I'm buying. And when I'm not buying, I'm not buying. But now I'm buying.
It's great to have you. I think I'd love to hear what Sheldon has to say and your other guest. But it's a really exciting time. And thank you for having me on. Okay,
Sheds, what's going on, bro? I need to understand whether this is anything to panic about. Are we in a bear market now? What are the charts saying?
Well, let's look at what just happened. Obviously, we had some weakening on the daily chart. You look at the weekly chart. We talked about what led into this. We had the EMA 8 violation on the weekly chart. We talked about the daily MA 50 starting to close below it. And while that's happening, it was interesting with the Wyckoff talk about potentially self-fulfilling. I think that is interesting, something to think about. A lot of traders have been targeting that key 42K level, the pivot. When you have a prior resistance, you break it. You want to turn it into support. We did what's called the bullish throwback here in the beginning of March. We attempted to do that. We kind of held serve briefly. We kind of held that support briefly. Then we really did flush down. What's interesting is we hit the kind of lower part of this consolidation range ran from January. You've got a long lower shadow. At this point, you have to go to kind of lower time frames to see what's going on. You've got this dip buying. You have these lower shadows, but the price is still vulnerable, right? Every trader is going to start doing this. They're going to draw their diagonals. They're going to start drawing the horizontals. You start figuring out what's going on. This is a good lesson for the idea that you always want to have low ball bids put in, right? I saw you tweeting about Sol, one of your favorite projects. I got some longs on Sol. You said you're in below 40. Man, that thing was 27. So if you liked it at 50, you loved it at 40, you want to marry it, below 30. So you set these low ball bids. You're not sure they're going to fill, but if they do, you get these violent reactions back on the way up. So I got some Sol. Look at that lower Bollinger dip below the MA 50. Beautiful, strong chart, dipping below a long-term or a medium-term moving average. And when it does it quickly, that's opportunity. So I saw opportunity there. I saw opportunity in Ethereum, 1850. This thing was just 4,000. We have a 57% drawdown. Is it bottom? I don't know. The market is still weak, but I would be looking for opportunity here. It's not an area to sell. You want to sell into strength rather than weakness.
Cheds, is there anything here that makes you feel like potentially we're in a prolonged bear market? Is there anything in the chart or anywhere else that makes you feel that potentially we're in a prolonged bear market now, fundamentally or technically?
I mean, fundamentally, going to ask someone else because for me, I'm a believer in semi-strong, efficient market hypothesis. Everything that's publicly known is baked into the price. So, FA, ask someone else. I'm looking at this 200 period moving average. I do want to close back up above it. I will note, I will observe, and that's what good technical analysis is about. We have a long-term, a secular bull uptrend for the first MA200 tag since that 8K period back in like April of 2020. You're going to bounce off this MA200. You almost always bounce off this type of a long-term moving average the first time you test it in a long period of time. But it's still vulnerable. We need to get back up above 42K and turn that into support. And we see, with your talk earlier, how vulnerable the market is to a tweet. It's still not a very well-developed market. If a guy named Elon or Olon, whatever you want to call him, can just put out a tweet, diamond hands, spaghetti hands, butter hands, whatever you want to call it, it can move the price up and down. You need to understand with crypto, if you're new, there's going to be volatility. So have your stop loss based on your trading thesis, your trading idea. I'm entering because this support level holds. If that support level doesn't hold, don't just hold it and say, oh, well, oh, geez. Have your plan, execute your plan, define your risk. That's what trading is all about, defining your risk. Is it a long-term bear market? Probably not. That's what I have to say.
You wrote a book called Trading Wisdom. Fred's going to put the link for Trading Wisdom in the thing. You've sold over 3,000 books to our community. I know that. Guys, 5,000 books to our community. Guys, get Cheds' book because Cheds is the fucking master. I can't explain to you how much he is so smart. He gets this so well. Cheds, what are you doing right now? Are you specifically entering any trades or what are you doing right now?
So what I mentioned earlier, I actually jumped in. I got Ethereum longs below 1900. I got Sol longs. I got some Uni longs.
But I don't want to know what you've done because we can't do that. I'm more worried about my guys who are watching the stream right now and thinking, what's the best move? Is there a move? Nothing.
Yeah, if you're unsure, do nothing. You need to. Something I talk about is you don't want to buy in the middle of a channel. You want to buy at the support. You want to short at resistance. You don't want to buy in the middle. We've already had a pretty good bounce. Okay, if we go to a short-term time frame, let's take like the 4-hour. Even like a lower time frame, we've already had a pretty good bounce off of our lows, 20-30% off of these local lows. So, if you're going to do something, maybe you're taking profit as the price approaches some type of a short-term moving average resistance, the 8 EMA, maybe in the 1 hour or something like that. I would wait for more volatility, wait for more panic and fear. Panic and fear will lead you to opportunity. Watch social media. When your friends are really giving up and complaining, that's when you jump in.
That was today. That was earlier today. That was earlier today. Literally everybody wanted. All right, Chet, stay on the line with us, man. Sheldon, what are you looking at? Let's get Sheldon's screen here. Sheldon, how are you looking at this market?
What's up, guys? Okay, so obviously huge acceleration in the price. We dropped the complete trends. We shot completely through, and as soon as we did drop that 37K level, we then obviously saw the acceleration to the 30K level. The only worry that I have right now, Cheds, you've been speaking much truth, obviously, about the plan of action, how to take these trades. And it's correct to say to buy right now, it's a 50-50 because the problem was we had such a quick bounce that happened at that area that we already know that when something happens too quickly, that we return to that area again. I don't feel that all the liquidity was captured at that $30,000 level. I do think that was the temporary low for now, and it could be the possible low for now. We are going to have a strong reaction from the zone. And just to show you guys this, as much as it's called whack-off or any of these sort of things, we call this a simple Bart Simpson, where you have the basic top, the fall down, you get the eyebrow point, which I'll show you guys now. And this is where we recome test that zone again. So if we have a look at that, and we can see that that's exactly what has played. Quick acceleration the one side, quick deceleration the other side. We then come down and capture the rest of the liquidity and then start making our way up. So still the same targets we've had for the last week. Obviously, the low has been accelerated a lot lower, but still the target between 46 and 50,000 is where I see us getting. And then after that, we'll see if we then start to reverse or anything like that. But, you know, for now, I've only seen dumps like this twice in my trading career. And usually you'll see tomorrow, you'll actually be quite shocked to the green day that we do have tomorrow after these sort of push-ups. But from this, we are going to have a bounce. But if we don't break the right highs later in the next 2-3 weeks or next month or so, then there's possibility we can come down to lower targets. But I do feel that this is the range now. Price will come back close to that range. That's stock up level. And for those who are still in, let's see where we get on the highs. And that's when we can see, should we get back into cash, get a good portion back because we're going back down? We will then see. But we do have strong reactions at these points.
George, what do you think?
You're on mute there, George.
George's eyes are
Yeah, I'm back.
I mean, that's the wisest thing you've said all day.
You should play the clip exactly as predicted again.
Exactly as I have been predicting.
Let's discuss. I'm gonna steal that clip from you, Rand. It's just insane right now. I think these guys know what they're talking about. I'll just say, for me, I'm just looking for buy opportunities. I did buy a little bit yesterday, bought a little bit today, not nearly as low as bottom because, again, I was coming onto your show too, trying to prepare for that. But, yeah, I think we'll get past this. And, you know, I think when things are discounted 30, 40% from top, it's a buying opportunity. So
this is definitely the biggest buying opportunity. George, thank you so much for coming on our show. I know you got your own show. I know you got your own community to look after. Listen, your house is our house. Mikasa Sukasa. This is your home. This is your community. Guys, if you're not a part of George's community, 2 streams every day, 11 and 8:30, right? Or is it 11:30 and 8? I keep forgetting.
11:30 and 8 o'clock.
11:30 and 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. That's when George streams. I keep saying to you that George is the second stream that I listen to every single morning and the third stream because he usually does 2 streams while I'm asleep. So that's the first stream that I look for. And for me, the most credible in the industry. No bullshit. Doesn't waffle.
Yeah, great show.
Not now.
Oh, that's just cheers. All right, George, thank you, my friend. Thank you for coming on to Crypto Banter. We really appreciate it as a community. Cheers, thank you, my friend, my brother, my blood. Thank you.
Cheers.
Hey, good. I hope you're feeling better, Sheldon. I heard you were sick, maybe, but I hope you're doing well, my friend.
I think the market sort of had to wake me up and get rid of the sickness very quicker.
So thank you for having me, guys. Hit like, hit subscribe. Rand does this for free. He's putting some effort. Sheldon does this. Spread the love. It will come back to you, folks.
Great. All right, guys. Sheldon, I'm going to put you in the waiting room for a sec. Let's look at what we should actually. So I want to reiterate where we're at. The worst is over. At least it feels like the worst is over. For me, the worst is over. I'm starting to buy again. I'm buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a relatively safe option. So remember, you want to be buying stuff that even if the market comes down, you know it's going to come up again. I don't believe that this is the end of the Bitcoin bull market. I may be wrong. And even if it is, I think that the next bull market, Bitcoin will go much higher. I think the only real risk that we have here, is the US stock market crashing. If we get a US stock market correction now, we are in big trouble because crypto is going to follow with it. Do not sell now. If you sell now, I think you are selling into the weak hands. You are selling into the whales. You guys are the weak hands. What I recommend now, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter because that's where I'm going to be posting all the trades that I make. My handle is @CryptoManRun. Guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to sign out now, not because I don't love you guys, but because I actually want to capture some of this opportunity myself and be trading. All my trades will be posted on Twitter. So go and follow me on Twitter @CryptoManRun. And I'm going to encourage Sheldon to do exactly the same thing. So guys, I'm CryptoManRun. I'll see you again in a few hours. If anything happens, I'll see you again and again and again. And we're going to get through this together. Please do not panic. Do not sell. This is not the end of crypto. Nothing has happened. DeFi still has over 100 billion value lock. NFTs are still spreading like wildfire. Inflation is still going like crazy. China has been banned forever. This is not the time to be selling. I'm Crypto Manran. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, trade well.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own